good evening. This is Obade Dayo at Apataki Theater, brought to you by Omidina Productions. Today we're talking about the spiritual court. We're going to talk about the guides, the laborers, and the protectors, as well as the ancestors. And we're going to get into a little bit about the malevolent spirits that come to torture us. So, in the codified system of spiritualism, we have different kinds of spiritual beings that define themselves by what they actually do. So, we have guides. Now, guides are also, ancestors are also in the group or the label that we call guides. They may not actually communicate directly with you, but they necessarily inspire us, give us intuition, and find ways to produce luck to us. So that you have a lot of times grandparents, when they pass away, find themselves in the position of a guide to their grandchildren, most especially. When a parent dies early on in a child's life, the parent becomes a guide to continue to assist you in this life. So we have guides, and there are different kinds of guides that fall under what are categorized as commissions. And the commissions are archetypes for specific spirits who have certain characteristics and perform particular type of miracles or magical works. In the Lukumi system of adaptation of spiritualism, we have several commissions. I may forget some. Please, forgive me now. But there are, as far as I know, the commissions are, there is the Los Congos Commission. This is a commission of spirits that are associated to Congolese traditions and customs. They sometimes kind of cross-clash with another spirit which is very deified within the context of spiritualism and Palo Mayombe, which is Francisco. And Francisco and Francisca become very strong guides in the commission of Los Congos. But it is safe to say that Francisco and Francisca have their own commission at this point, that there are different manifestations of Francisco through different periods of time. We have the same can be said as for spirits known as Tahose, who's known as a runaway slave. And so there are different manifestations of Tahose, but there are certain key defining or common denominators amongst the spirit. So we have Los Congos Commission. We have Los Chinos Commission, where all of the Asian customs and cultures are celebrated under the commission of Los Chinos. So that you may have some Chinese mythology or some Japanese Shinto mythology. And so these attributes and these attractions, so that as a regular person, you become, as you're an African American, a Latino American, or Caucasian American, and you find yourself drawn to a heavy sense of adoration towards an Asian culture, this can be explained amongst the commissions that you must have some sort of a spiritual connection, and so you have to find exactly which one is it. Is it a Tibetan? Is it a Hindu? Is it a Buddhist? Is it in the corpus of Japanese feudalism? Is it in the Monkey King? You have Quan. We have all these different attributes that fall under the guise of Los Chinos. After Los Chinos, we have Los Gitanas. And Las Gitanas are the gypsy spirits. These are usually attributed to females, but there are male gypsy spirits. And these spirits are responsible for the cultivation of tarot, of water seeing, of different particular, like so that like in Los Chinos, it would be your attention to yoga and meditation and different things of that nature would be associated to a spirit that practices these philosophies. So within Las Gitanas, there's specific spirits that become very prevalent within these commissions. Spirits that are associated with La Virgen de la Caridad de Cobre, the Virgin of Copper in Cuba. We have Regla and Tomasa. These are Yemaya associated spirits. Then you find when we get to the Las Gitanas, then we have Los Indios. And so this talks about different Native American attributes and tribes. They could be Caribbean, Carib, Arawak, Taino, Borinquen. These commissions address the Native American, the possibility of Native American genealogy within your bloodline, as well as just in terms of the major hubs of the quote-unquote modern world. These are the archetypes that were etched out. After the gypsies and the Indians, you have these particular spirits. So now we get into, now these are all the spirits that I just referred to or talk about are guides. These are spirits that help us to, like I said, if you have a spirit that's a gypsy that throws tarot or playing cards, it is a means of divination. It is a means of teaching you how to interact with magic and ancestral magic. And so in cultivating this spirit that has a gravitational pull towards tarot, you now become a student of tarot, and it becomes quite comprehensive to you. You understand it intrinsically, and so you become a very good tarot reader, and you honor that spirit that has inspired you to take this path. And so these are associated with guides. Then we have our laborers. And our laborers are spirits that don't necessarily communicate with us all the time. These are spirits that are, as we say, searching for opportunity and luck on our behalf to open up opportunities to us that may not have been possible other than through coincidence, as they say, or the right place at the right time. These laborers are sometimes family members also find themselves in laborers as well, because these are spirits that don't make themselves known. They may ask for some sort of recognition in the midst of a high emotional and spiritual activity, active time in your life, and these spirits will necessarily kick into action to to keep you going. These are the spirits that keep you at the job working so that you can get through this hard shift because you've been tired. So this spirit steps in and gets you through the job so that you can make it through the pay week. But these laborers also, they labor for us, they work for us. And so we honor them by a glass of water and a candle, and we may not know their names. And so you may go a lifetime with a spirit that has been laboring for you, and you don't know that spirit's name. And it may not even be important because we are not aware of the karmic debt that spirit may be having to fulfill on behalf of laboring for you within this reality. So the laborers are spirits that work for us without reward. Okay? These are the spirits that hold our pain. These are the spirits that hold our disappointment, because as laborers, some of these spirits are activated as we are put into slavery. And so these spirits all but too well know the feeling and the despair of toiling in the sun in a plantation. And so these spirits, we honor them by praying for them behind us so that they will be resignated of their positions. Laborers, it's a very hard thing to articulate. I've seen very few laborers actually manifest in possession. They're usually a spirit that another spiritualist actually is able to see, and that spirit will, if it is candid enough, will give up enough information about itself, and then you are able to honor these spirits. And they usually only come up because they're looking to be honored.